Donald Trump's surprising reaction to this veteran's moving homage to fallen soldiers captivated the entire audience. A gentle illumination enveloped a gathering of esteemed guests as the ballroom sparkled beneath the radiant embrace of crystal chandeliers. At the illustrious Beverly Wilshire Hotel in Los Angeles, the annual Freedom and Honor Gala unfolded, drawing in a vibrant mix of legislators, celebrities, and business tycoons. This gathering was a heartfelt convergence, united in their mission to champion the cause of wounded veterans. Servers glided effortlessly from table to table, replenishing champagne flutes while hushed conversations wove a tapestry of sound in the air. The heart of the evening was a grand, raised stage, enveloped by rich, deep blue velvet drapes that framed the front of the room. In the backdrop, a majestic American flag unfurled, its stars glimmering in the light as the fabric danced gently from the whispers of the air vents above. As the evening unfolded, a retired four-star general took to the stage, weaving tales of resilience from soldiers who'd given more than many could ever fathom. At the front table, President Donald Trump adjusted his tie, listening intently. Trump, known for his powerful presence, held an attentive demeanor, yet his expression bore a hint of an unusual moment of quiet reflection. As the speeches unfolded, the audience responded with warm applause, their smiles and gestures perfectly timed to the rhythm of the words shared. Yet, the circumstances held a certain familiarity that made them somewhat foreseeable. They had once graced grand galas, absorbed uplifting speeches, contributed substantial donations, and returned home with the gratifying feeling of having made a meaningful difference. Then, a moment of stillness follows. With a deliberate clearing of his throat, the MC took a moment to scan the room, setting the stage for what was to come. With a voice heavy with feeling, he proclaimed, "Tonight, we welcome a remarkable guest. A man who has seen more than many of us can fathom and has survived to share his tale." The atmosphere shifted instantly. Glasses found their new places upon the elegantly draped tables, while the air thickened with a pause in conversation. With a keen interest, Trump leaned forward slightly, his attention fully captured. The general pressed on with unwavering determination. Sergeant Lucas Barrett embarked on 2 journeys to Iraq and 1 to Afghanistan. He received the Purple Heart for the wounds he endured during a surprise attack near Kandahar. Yet, the revelations he is poised to share with us this evening reach far beyond the confines of war. With warmth and respect, let us offer a heartfelt salute to a true American hero. A tall, broad-shouldered man in his late 50s made his way to the stage, and the room buzzed with respectful applause. His limp was subtle yet noticeable. The rigidity of his actions, a haunting echo of the wounds that had come perilously close to taking him away, was not fully hidden beneath the pristine navy blue suit that adorned him. Lucas Barrett stepped up to the microphone, took a moment to clear his throat, and carefully positioned the microphone stand to his liking. He cast his gaze across the room, taking in the crowd of powerful figures, many of whom had sent forth warriors like himself to engage in battles. With a deep breath, he started to weave his tale. Yet, the unfolding events took everyone by surprise. The room was momentarily shrouded in silence, a brief pause in the unfolding tale. It was a silence that held a weight of its own, not one born from doubt or hesitation. It was a tale that carried a weight of complexity. The thrill of what's to come hangs in the air. The kind that made people adjust their posture, sitting a bit taller and leaning in just a touch closer. Lucas Barrett allowed the stillness to linger. He was not the kind of person to rush his words. Through his years of service, he discovered that the true weight of a message lay not in how quickly it was delivered, but in the deep emotional resonance it carried. With a deft movement, he once more positioned the microphone, his fingertips gliding over the chill of the metal stand. He cast his eyes across the assembly, taking in the senators, CEOs, and Hollywood luminaries, before his focus landed on President Trump, who was watching him intently. With a calm and unwavering tone, Lucas took a moment to convey his heartfelt appreciation to each of you for joining him this evening. I recognize that these gatherings aim to showcase our support, gather resources, and unite in solidarity with the brave men and women who serve our nation. Yet, I recognize that for countless souls, it is all too easy to miss the deeper meaning behind this. In the stillness of the room, an air of anticipation lingered. He slowly released his breath. He continued, I express that without any trace of resentment. This comes from my own journey and the lessons I've gathered along the way. I have seen the heavy price that strife exacts on humanity. I have witnessed the burden it imposes on them. I have witnessed the souls who wandered and never found their way back home. There lingered a sense of uncertainty about how to carry that for a prolonged duration. Yet, one evening, as I lay in a hospital bed, I took the only step I could to confront the uncertain future ahead and the multitude of fractured bones that I had lost track of. He paused, allowing himself to reflect on the story told by his hands. A shift flickered across his face as he looked up once more. I crafted a melody. A soft murmur broke the stillness of the audience, weaving through the air like a whispering breeze. Not due to their inquiries, but because it caught everyone off guard. He shook his head and made it clear that this is not a tale centered around me. It speaks to those who have never had the chance to shine on a stage of such grandeur. Young souls who never crossed the threshold of 20 summers. The brave souls who stood by my side in battle, yet could not find their way back home. From his pocket, he drew forth a small, wrinkled piece of paper, its edges worn and its surface marked by time. The edges were stained. The kind of paper that had been opened and closed 100 times, each fold telling a tale of its own. This was crafted with their well-being in mind. Furthermore, I plan to share it with you this evening. With a sweeping motion of his hand, he indicated the pianist nestled in the corner of the room. The atmosphere resonated with the gentle, melancholic echo of a solitary piano chord. With a gentle breath, Lucas shut his eyes and let his voice rise in song. Yet, in mere moments, the whole room would be grappling with their feelings. In a realm where liberty reigns and bravery finds its home, whispers of despair, crimson stains upon the war-torn ground. Freedom comes with a price. It is a sacrifice we must embrace. I battled for the mighty, and I battled for the fallen, for those who stand tall amidst the world's unfairness. Letters from my family became my lifeline, guiding me through the toughest times with their unwavering support. Mama said, "Son, we believe in you." Yet, I have seen too much and lost far too many friends. And the scars etched upon my spirit shall remain forever unhealed. I stand resolute, my heart steady and confident in its rhythm. For the banner, for the vision, for the crimson, alabaster, and azure. Stand firm, embrace the journey, and cherish every moment. The twilight hours may be shrouded in shadows, yet I would embrace the journey once more. Whispers of torment, crimson stains upon the war-torn ground. Freedom comes at a price. It is a sacrifice we must embrace. I battled for the mighty, and I battled for the fallen. For those who stand tall in the face of the world's unfairness. As I wander through these familiar streets, memories of joyful play fill my mind. A soldier has come back, yet I find myself transformed. Some see a champion, while others are bound by the echoes of what once was. Yet, the echoes of gunfire persist in my ears, and the dust and the tremors of the explosion linger in my senses. Thus, I find my place among my siblings, those who walk this earth, and those who have journeyed beyond. Our journey unfolds as we press onward in search of the land of liberty. Hoist the flag high and let the strains of the national anthem fill the air. We shall forever raise our voices in celebration of the quest for liberty. We shall forever raise our voices in celebration of the land of liberty. The ballroom resonated with the deep, unwavering cadence of Lucas Barrett's voice, a presence so captivating that it left the audience breathless. The tune was merely a part of the experience. It was the depth that came with it that truly resonated. The last note hung in the atmosphere, slowly fading into a silence so thick it felt almost suffocating. In the end, a wave of applause will fill the air. Clapping that lacks reverence. Not the kind of recognition bestowed out of duty at lavish celebrations. This was unique. It was raw and untouched. It was authentic. The atmosphere was filled with an exuberant clamor. People stood up, some applauding while others discreetly brushed away tears of unspoken feelings. A handful of souls lingered in their seats, hands intertwined before them, as though they were still unraveling the tale they had just absorbed. Yet, one person stayed in their seat while the applause echoed around them. President Trump remained in his original location. His hands, still tightly clasped, twitched ever so slightly. His gaze lingered on Lucas, as if he were not just watching him, but truly studying him. With a measured grace, he lifted himself from the ground. Yet, what he did next left the entire audience in a state of astonishment. The applause echoed through the ballroom, yet President Trump remained momentarily unaware of the fervent appreciation surrounding him. He held his poise, his hands slowly opening as he breathed out, his eyes fixed unwaveringly on Lucas Barrett. In the moments that followed, he stood tall once more, not with the quick, practiced gestures of a politician recognizing a moment, but with careful, intentional strides. A kind of movement that carried a heavy load. The kind that signified a true presence. As Trump made his way to the stage, the audience held their breath in anticipation. His appearance was unlike what one typically encountered at press conferences or rallies. There was no wide smile to be seen. The cameras went unnoticed, their presence unmarked by any gestures. He wore an expression of solemnity. Melancholy, perhaps. His eyes locked onto Lucas Barrett, who remained poised at the microphone. For a fleeting moment, silence enveloped the two, each lost in their own thoughts. As the soldier ascended the steps, the President of the United States made his way toward him, and the room buzzed with the sound of cameras clicking, each flash immortalizing the encounter. In that moment, he took an unexpected turn that left everyone in awe. With a gesture of openness, Trump reached out his hand. With a moment of uncertainty lingering in the air, Lucas reached out and took hold of it at last. The handshake lingered, strong and resolute. It was more than just a chance to capture an image. It lingered in the air, a silent truth waiting to be acknowledged. A comprehension that resonates uniquely with those who have borne the weight of sacrifice. In a fleeting instance of openness, Trump gently rested his other hand upon Lucas's shoulder. The room was wrapped in a soft, whispered hush. The cameras kept rolling. Yet, there was no response from anyone. Silence enveloped the room. In the end, Trump leaned in a bit, his voice low yet clear enough for the microphone to catch every word he uttered. They shall remain etched in memory forever. For a fleeting moment, Lucas's grip intensified as he swallowed hard, and then he gave a nod. From a realm of understanding rather than a sense of decorum, with a deliberate motion, Trump loosened his hold and shifted his focus back to the crowd before him. He had once again transformed his demeanor. While it may not be entirely softened, it certainly carries a more contemplative quality. Deeper, grounded. In the aftermath, he offered his applause. In an instant, the whole room echoed again, but this time with an even more powerful resonance. Yet, this was no longer solely for Lucas. It was not just for the melody. It was for every warrior who never had the chance to step onto that stage. Moreover, the unfolding events would ensure that this moment would be etched in memory, never to fade away. It would echo across the land, capturing the attention of all who dwell within its borders. The event should have unfolded by now. The next speaker was anticipated to grace the stage. And so the gala was meant to unfold, following the carefully laid plans that had been set in motion. Yet, this was not just another tale. As Lucas descended from the stage, a strong hand clasped his arm, anchoring him in the moment. Trump had not yet finished weaving his narrative. The president extended an invitation for your company, his voice calm yet unwavering. With a fleeting pause, Lucas nodded in agreement. The two gentlemen made their way to the edge of the ballroom, skillfully evading the watchful eyes of the cameras. Beyond the rehearsed niceties and crafted orations, a select assembly of covert operatives and their allies lingered nearby, shrouded in an air of mystery. Yet, this was a conversation that required no listeners. Trump's eyes sharpened with intensity, locking onto him as he turned. He paused and said, "That song. It resonated beyond mere sound. Once upon a time, there was..." He took a moment, his head tilting slightly as though he were searching for just the right words to weave into his tale. With a calm demeanor, Lucas nodded, his voice steady and assured. Indeed, it was the truth. With a deep breath, Trump held his gaze steady upon him. Throughout my journey, I have crossed paths with many veterans. A multitude of tales were shared. Yet, I have not encountered it articulated in such a way before. He paused, caught in a moment of uncertainty. Have you had the chance to share your experiences in Afghanistan? As Lucas shifted slightly, the weight of memories bore down on him, pressing against his chest like an old familiar burden. Of course, my good sir. A pair of adventures awaits. At the age of 22, my journey began. On this second occasion, he took his time, letting the moment linger. Trump offered a subtle nod. And that is when you were struck, Lucas said, his voice steady and unwavering. Of course, my good sir. A hush enveloped the scene for a fleeting instant. Do you still keep in touch with any of your fellow unit members? Trump posed a question. Lucas's jaw tightened ever so slightly. Indeed, those who journeyed back to their abode. Then, it transforms into something softer. A multitude of individuals chose not to. The gravity of their unspoken thoughts lingered in the air, a palpable tension weaving through the silence. Trump took a deep breath. It is known that I often find myself facing criticism. Some claim that I lack the ability to grasp the intricacies of the military and that I am disconnected from their feelings. Perhaps their perspective holds some truth. He cast a fleeting glance at Lucas. Yet, I stay ever watchful. And this evening, your voice reached my ears. Lucas embarked on a thorough exploration of his character. He found himself at a crossroads, unsure of the path to take in response to that moment. Trump continued on his path. This melody and this tale deserve to be shared with the world. This isn't limited to just this place. This evening is not solely dedicated to that. He rose to his feet, tilting his head slightly as he cast a thoughtful glance at one of his aides. Share this tale far and wide. It is essential that this message reaches every veteran across the nation. Lucas blinked, his eyes momentarily wide, as if awakening from a dream. This had transformed into something far beyond a simple exchange of words. This was a matter of great importance. Within mere hours, the digital realm was flooded with captivating footage of the performance. The video spread across social media, news outlets, and morning talk shows, captivating audiences everywhere. It was hailed as a powerful homage in various headlines. Some spoke of it as a rare emotional journey for a leader often seen as untouchable. Yet, the headlines fell short of capturing the full depth of the impact. In the emails and messages that flowed into Lucas's inbox, he found words from soldiers he had never encountered before. From families adorned with the weight of gold stars, mourning their beloved sons and daughters. From veterans who once felt like shadows in the background. The source was the phone calls from the soldiers with whom he had served. The voices carried a deep emotional weight, whispering, "I needed to hear that." In that moment, a single song achieved what countless speeches could not over the years. Let us bring to light the brave souls who gave everything for a greater cause. Yet, Lucas found himself with one more chapter to unfold. The days that followed the gala drifted by in a blur. Lucas Barrett had always preferred the shadows to the spotlight. Yet, his phone kept buzzing relentlessly. Brave souls who have served. Families of fallen heroes. Those who had never set foot in a war zone yet felt the impact of his words were mere strangers. The video of his performance resonated widely, leaving an impression that exceeded all he had hoped for. It became a captivating topic of conversation on various talk shows. The tale was scrutinized by the news anchors. Yet, Lucas remained unfazed by any of it. It was the voices that echoed through the conversations that held the true significance. A man from Oklahoma, carrying the weight of grief for his younger sibling lost in the distant lands of Afghanistan. A woman from Texas, who had dedicated herself to service, yet always felt like a shadow in the background. A father from Ohio, his heart heavy, had lovingly draped a flag over the casket of his only son. The essence of each message remained unwavering. Your knack for expressing the feelings we struggled to convey is truly valued. Amidst the torrent, one message shimmered with clarity. It did not come from a politician or a journalist. It all began with a remarkable woman named Marjorie Tillman. Once, there was a mother, devoted and proud, of a brave soul named Private Jason Tillman, a young warrior from Lucas's battalion, still absent from the embrace of home. Lucas wove her words into the air, letting them dance from his lips time and again. Once, the sound of my son's laughter filled the air, but now, that melody is lost to me forever. Yet, I stumbled upon it in your melody last night. With a slight quiver in his hands, he typed back, "He remains etched in memory, never to fade away." In that instant, Lucas found himself fully aware of this realization. This was merely a chapter in an ongoing tale. This signified the beginning of a journey. With a deep breath, he looked out the window of his small apartment. He endured immense hardships due to the turmoil. Yet, it had also gifted him with a mysterious item, one he had no knowledge of owning: the duty to persist in sharing their tales. With a sense of anticipation, he reached out to the number that awaited him in his inbox the next morning. This is not a plea for attention from the media. I do not engage in the realm of politics. Yet, a humble nonprofit organization that brought forth the voices of veterans through the art of music. In a similar fashion, a solitary melody evolved into a vibrant movement. For the reality is, no warrior ever fades away as long as their tale is shared. Life presents moments that illuminate what is genuinely significant. Instants that rise above the clamor, the conflicts, and the separations, and stand as a testament to the lives of those who grace the headlines. The tale of Lucas Barrett transcended the mere confines of a song. It was a matter of great significance. Offer a piece of yourself. The cost of freedom. And perhaps, just perhaps, it was about illuminating the truth that every voice, no matter how soft, deserves its moment in the spotlight. If this tale struck a chord with you, I invite you to share it with others. For sometimes, the deepest homage we can pay is simply to remember. If you hold a deep respect for those who have served, think about lending your support to organizations dedicated to helping our brave veterans navigate their journey back to civilian life. Every tale holds its own importance. Every voice carries its own weight. For more tales that illuminate what truly matters, subscribe,